Good morning, everyone. Welcome to South Church Worship Services, and it is Mother's Day. We are glad that you could join us, and we have a service for you this morning that is always such a pleasure to work with the worship associate team to provide you with services that are possible. It has been a long time since I have never seen you in person, but I love being able to get together with you on Zoom. And you are in my thoughts, and I want you to know that I'm always available. So this morning, I'm joined by Jonathan Cummings. Jonathan, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, I'm good. Hope you're well. And thanks for joining South Church this Mother's Day, everyone. As Susan mentioned, my name is Jonathan Cummings, and I'm one of a team of worship associates that assist with creating and providing services for South Church. As always, there's a number of contributors that help bring these services to you. And today the music is provided by music director Joanne Connolly and Susan Adams, providing our Time for All Ages. And Jen Leiden fulfilled the essential task of video editing for our service. So thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us. And we invite everyone, first-time viewer or long-time member, to join us for a virtual social hour immediately after the service. And you can ask any questions you may have, or just reflect on the service and chat with a new or old friend. So welcome.
Spring has sprung, and it's time to celebrate at the Fellowship Associates' Spring Gatherings. Reconnect with South Church folks and make new friends at small outdoor gatherings. Guests will wear masks when not eating or drinking, and bring their own food and drink and chair, and remain socially distant. Events will take place mid-May through June. For dates, times, and locations, check for your Sunday morning email sign-up Genius link. Don't miss the fun after this very long winter. Join us for a virtual Zoom hour and a half on May 12th from 10 to 11:30 with Aging with Grace, a time to look at the issues of independence and dependence in our lives, plus enjoy the camaraderie of those of us 60 years plus. Do you struggle to ask for help or let go of patterns that are no longer serving you? Or not? We welcome all. For information and to get on our email list for the Zoom link, contact Rita Weathersby at rita.weathersby@unh.edu. Sometimes a piece of history is a blank slate. Quarried in Wales and transported as ship ballast for the construction of South Church in 1826, the slates from our roof have seen a lot of history and have great potential for second lives. Charcuterie boards, chalk slates, canvases, house signs, clocks. What will you do with your piece of local history? Available for a donation of $20 or more, slates will be sold on Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m. on the portico. If you have any questions, would like to purchase some slates, or are interested in volunteering, please contact Lori Bilby at turningtide@comcast.net. The Pocket Garden Tour will take place on June 25th and 26th, and we need your help. Volunteers are needed to garden sit and to assist during the tour. No knowledge about gardens is needed, just a willingness to welcome folks with a smile. Volunteer shifts are for 3 hours. The sign-up Genius to volunteer can be found in your Sunday morning email. Thank you in advance for your service, and we'll see you in the garden.
Good morning. With some inspiration from NPR, I am Lauren Katz with This Learning Associate Life. Prologue. Learning Associates are finishing a second year. As the newest of lay leadership, we are taking careful steps to develop and organize a culture that supports deeper spiritual learning and awareness at South Church. Act 1. Long Division. When I learned long division, I really just wanted to know who figured out that divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down would get you the correct answer. Years later, when greater number sense had settled in, I remember the moment when it all made perfect sense. The pieces fell into place, and I understood what I had previously followed blindly. Like long division, learning associates know that the mastery of one concept is not always the end of learning about it. We want to support members in deepening what they know of spiritual practices. Act 2, Pruning. Let me start by saying an arborist I am not, but the pandemic offered me cooperative extension videos, so I learned about pruning, and because of that, I learned about growing. The result of cutting a tree is actually growth. Pruning incorrectly might cause a waterspout reaction of many branches growing out of one cut. It might seem great to have lots of new growth, but it takes energy away from the tree. The fast-growing branches are not strong. Or a new branch can grow straight up and put unnecessary weight and stress on the main limb. So pruners must step back and study what is best for the tree over the coming years. For strong growth, you sometimes have to take your time in what you prune. LAs provide a chance for us to step back and decide how to grow our faith. Helping spiritual growth happen with intentionality, finding new buds and branches for reaching up and out, and energy to deepen one's roots. Act 3, 10-year-olds. I teach 10-year-olds, and I love many things about them. One, when a student moves from an abstract concept to mastery, this is more than a light bulb going on. It's the moment when they realize the power and independence of knowledge. Even more exciting is when the group learns, and I don't mean when each child in the class understands simultaneously. Rather, it is the moment when that group in the back of the corner who keeps getting louder and the one that's always talking at once, trying to have their individual ideas win, and then suddenly they realize that they're sharing the same idea. Everyone is being included, even the kid that's hard to include, and they are all on the same page, and they know something special is going on. They know they have one idea together, and it's awesome. Their collective effort has produced something bigger than the sum of their parts. Learning associates wants to create opportunities for the amazing aha moments of the individuals, and close to my heart, the opportunities of the collective spirituality and growth of South Church. Think of the excitement, helping a community discover the depth of its spiritual growth because of, in spite of, after COVID, or our growth as we continue to know who we are, why we are, where we may go, and what we can offer and need in a settled minister. That is just some of what is on the horizon for learning associates. And if you have more questions, please contact us so you can consider to join us on Learning Associates or reach out to somebody from Shared Ministry. Thank you for your time.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend you all through the night. I who love you shall be near you all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber sleeping. I my loving vigil keeping all through the night. Mother, I can feel you near me all through the night. Father, while the moon her watch is keeping all through the night, while the weary world is sleeping all through the night. O'er thy spirit gently stealing, visions of delight revealing, breathes a pure and holy feeling all through the night.
Feel a bit out of place delivering the opening words on Mother's Day. Firstly, and mainly, I'm not biologically capable of being a mother. And secondly, I'm not even an explosive thing to the thought. Thought about it a lot, probably too much, not that one can really be too prepared or overly consider the decision. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Starting again. Here are my reflections on being not yet, maybe someday. You don't know, don't make us unparents. Most of my life, I've been the first of my friends and siblings to drive, get a job, get a boat, buy alcohol, a car, at the same time, get married, go to grad school. And I liked being first, exploring the new terrain, sharing and guiding my peers as they joined me. And it also got kind of old. And as I thought about kids and some other major life decisions, the uncertainty felt big. Maybe it would be nice to learn from others' experiences for once. The thing is, breaking patterns is hard, and especially when you're relying on others. My only sibling is 5 years younger, and he's getting married next year. No help there. I have a few friends that got married, but the one that got married and has a child lives in Oregon, so I haven't met the kid. And then my unmarried friend who has a child, lives in Belgium. So, friends. How about my wife's siblings? Well, one of them transitioned from male to female, so biologically won't be having children. The other underwent chemotherapy while in college, might became sterile. But here's some luck, did have a child right before moving to Holland for 2 years and then returning during a pandemic. So what you're left with is a going on 40-year-old worship associate whose parenting experience is raising, well, dogs. But all the mothers, furry children out there, yes, we know they aren't the same as human children. We don't mean to diminish the meaning and connection between members of the same species. Happy Mother's Day to you and your fur babies. To you and your precious little snuggle friends, who wake you up in the middle of the night because they need to relieve themselves or need attention. Who break your things, need cleaning up after. Who you spoil with food and treats and toys. And to all the would-be grandmothers out there, you know it's not the same for you, but I hope you can enjoy your furry grandbabies and embrace them the way my mother has embraced ours. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. The later Chalice today, here are some words from The Art of Racing in the Rain, written by Art Stein. Story narrated from the perspective of a dog. So much of language is unspoken. So much of language is comprised of looks, gestures, and sounds that are not words. People are ignorant of the vast complexity of their own communication. Please join me in reciting and aspiring to practice our mission statement. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through worship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people. And we inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
So for the time for all ages today, I'm going to be telling the story of Buscabe and Zidzis. It's a story I learned from an Abenaki storyteller named Wolfsong, who has unfortunately since passed. But I hope to keep his stories alive by continuing to tell them with you and eventually sharing them with others. When he would tell, he would use a call and response to make sure everyone was engaged and listening. We'll do that today as well. So whenever I say ho, he'll say hey back. Ho, hey. Okay. So Buscabe is a great, powerful being in the Abenaki culture. And Buscabe done a great and many things, but he was feeling a bit down. And one day when he went into the lodge where he lived with Grandmother Woodchuck, he said, "Grandmother, I don't know what to do. There is nothing left for me to accomplish. I've defeated everyone that there is to defeat. What's next for me?" Oh, Grandmother, you know, grandson, there is one yet who I think may be your match. Who is this one, Grandmother? Well, you go to the village of the people. You ask for Nagawes and her lodge, and there find one Zidzis. Zidzis may be your match, grandson. Ah, thank you, Grandmother. I shall find this Zidzis and I shall defeat him. Off Buscabe went to the village of the people. And there's a woman out tending to her crops. Said, "May I help you?" Said, "Perhaps. Seek the lodge, Nagawes, and one Zidzis." "Ah, yes, there is the lodge of Nagawes. And you are in luck. The Zidzis has just woken from his nap, or you could not see him." Really? Being so powerful? I dare not wake him from a nap? We shall see. We shall see. And off he went to the lodge. And there he scratched on the leather of the door. Now appeared a young woman. "May I help you?" Said, yes, I hope. Are you Nagawes? Yes. How may I help you? I seek Zidzis. Zidzis is the one I'm looking for. Okay. Yes, please come in. So she invited him in. There sits Zidzis. And there, in the corner of the lodge, at the strangest human that Buscabe had ever seen. It was only about yay big, and was round, plump, wrinkly, and very little clothing. You thought this being is so powerful, no one dares wake them from a nap. This is so powerful that I cannot defeat him. We shall see. This one must be a great sorcerer, and I shall sit and I shall watch. Eventually, I will find a way to defeat this one. So Gustave, he sat and he watched. After a time, Zizi slipped off the moccasin, began to play with it, play with the strings and the beads. So Gustave, he did the same. He slipped off his moccasin and he tossed it and he played with it and he said, anything you can do and better. Zizi just went about his day. After a time, he moved on from his moccasin. He began toe playing, playing with his toes. And then Gustave, he was toe playing. Anything you can do, better. And next thing you knew, Zizi's, he began to suck on his big toe. So Zizi's, he did the same. Anything you can do and better. Oh. Now, some time went on, and Zizius eventually got tired of his toe playing, and he crawled over into it, and there was a basket, and out of this basket, he pulled out this little leather rattle, and began to rattle this leather turtle. And Gustave thought, now I have got it. He reached over and he took the turtle, and he said, I have taken your medicine piece. I have taken the source of your power. You are defeated. As he looked up. Eyes got big. His cheek began to shake, and his lips began to quiver. Gustave, Zizius, you are defeated. I have your power. Zizius looked up and make most horrible noise, began to wail. Gustave said, you are defeated. I know. Gustave began to sing a song. Oh. He sang a great and powerful song. All around, outside the lodge, the land was calm. The grass no longer waved. Not a leaf blew in the trees. There wasn't even a ripple on the water. Everything was so still. But not at the center. There was a great singing and a great wailing. And on it went. Finally, Gustave, he could not take it anymore. He said, oh, you're a terrible being. Be quiet, please be quiet. Isn't there anyone that can do anything with you? Excuse me. And Zizi's wailing, she went on and on. And the Gowes came over. She lifted up Zizis, cradled him, and began to hum a lullaby. After a couple of minutes, Zizis calmed down back to sleep. Gustave, very slowly, very quietly, backed his way out of the lodge. He went back to Grandmother Woodchuck. Oh, Grandmother, you were right. Zizius is a terrible being. Could not do anything with him. No, Grandmother, I think there is one even more powerful than Zizius. Oh. Now you see, Gustave, he created himself out of the earth. He pulled himself together and made the great rift in the land that created Lake Champlain. You see, he never had a mother. He'd never experienced their power. So it was that through his experience, Zizis came to meet Nagawes, truly the most powerful being of us all. So it is to this day. The Nagawes, mothers, are the greatest of us all. They bring us into the world and they raise us with all the love and caring that Nagawes showed Zizis and the grandmother woodchuck showed Gustabe. They help us to become the beings that we are. That's the story, Gustabe and Zizis Leone. Thank you for listening. Today's chair plate offering, as indicated on your screen, can be given using the South Church website. Appropriately, our offering this month is being shared with the Lovering Health Center. The Joan G. Lovering Health Center is located just outside of Portsmouth in Greenland, New Hampshire. The Lovering Health Center welcomes people of all genders, ages, and sexual orientations in a supportive environment, honoring, respecting, and advocating for the right of everyone to maintain freedom and choice regarding their sexual and reproductive health. Please give as you're able to help support their mission and share our good fortune with the larger community.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care, Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
And let us be in an attitude of prayerful reflection. Let us join together in prayer. May the reflections of these next few moments be on all the people who have nurtured you, cared for you, held you when you needed another arm around you, when you needed more support, when you felt isolated and alone. Today is a day to remember, sometimes painfully so, those who birthed us, those who have mothers who are no longer living, those who have mothers who struggled with being mothers, and those who had mothers who were joyfully engaged in that. Mothering, parenting is, such a complicated process. And today we gather together just to take a few moments to reflect on parenting, on mothering, on birthing. And let's not forget that birthing is so much more than just having children. We birth nature, we birth plants, we birth the spirits of those that we teach, and those that we talk with, birthing, tending, nurturing, loving, caring, all attributes that we want to bring forward into the world and that we want to be known for. So let us remember with gratitude all those who care for us, and with compassion and love, let us remember those no longer living who nurtured us. And I invite you to take a moment to let your prayer requests be known by writing them in the chat. Please, we want to know what's going on with you. We care for you. We're here for you. Please express your thoughts to us so that we can reach out. Amen. Blessed be.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Though I really prefer to say bless all who have been or will be doing any type of parenting. And to mothers, I say thank you for birthing the blessed children who people our earth. Thank you also to all those who chose not to give birth to little human beings, but instead birth scientific, medical, artistic, musical, life-giving ideas. Not that mothers can't do that as well as birth children, but I acknowledge and honor the ability to choose. And to all those who nurture, care for, comfort, challenge, and celebrate others' children, thank you. And for all who tend to our world and who manifest love, compassion, hope, justice into existence, you too, I honor this day. And for all who survived mothers who, for a myriad of reasons, should never have been mothers, I recognize your pain and struggles with this day that has the potential to set up false expectations and or may awaken some heartache. I'm here. The reality is that birthing, parenting is complicated and sometimes painful and pain-filled. And that is why today I prefer to recognize any and all persons who genuinely heal, nurture, mentor, and remain a loving presence in the life of others. For all who birth little human beings and who were unprepared to do so, and that would be me, I hope you can identify as I share bits and pieces of my story. It is part of my redemption story. It is part of my life story of why I am a Unitarian Universalist minister. It is part of the story of what I experience as the gifts, strengths, and qualities that South Church has to offer. For together, we are birthing new ways of being Unitarian Universalist. No doubt, there are some unknowns, but sometimes we need to explore the possibilities by trying out the unexpected and see what happens. At age 15, I approached my mother to get info about the birds and the bees, or to be more direct, Mom, where do babies come from? Thank our lucky stars for our OWL program, which provides real and specific sexuality education classes to inquiring children. I wonder what difference having an OWL program would have made in my life. But truth be told, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have changed too many of my life experiences. They make me who I am. Allow me to tell you about my mother and her unexpected parenting. My mother's mother died giving birth to twins when my mother was 8 years old, leaving my mother, Esther Joyce, the eldest sibling, to care for Charles Jr., age 6, and Ruth, age 4. Her father, my beloved Grandpa Fille, was at that point an active alcoholic who took to drinking with a vengeance when his beloved wife died giving birth. My mother and her siblings were passed from one group of relatives to another for a year or more till Grandpa Fille sobered enough to establish a home. From that point until my mother reached adolescence, she and her siblings experienced mothering from a myriad of child care persons, live-in girlfriends who became stepmothers, or neighbors and other relatives. Hearing my mother talk of the various challenges, struggles, and positive experiences, my impetus for appreciating and understanding mothering, parenting as a different process than just birthing little beings. It really does take a village of men and women to raise children. With my mother's reluctance to get into that emotionally fraught area of the death of her mother during childbirth and the rapid onset of my hormonal adolescence, when I asked her about where babies came from, her scientific, rational thinking came to the forefront, and in answer to my inquiries, she presented me with a medical book. Now, that medical book named all the parts, they showed their location, and freaked me right out, but did not address the hormonal rage or explain why I flushed with odd palpitations when certain boys approached. My pregnancy ensued in spite of medical explanation. Oh, thank goodness we offer our program here. Yay, South Church. Anyways, I was not emotionally prepared to be a mother, but a rather too young and too vulnerable 16-and-a-half-year-old who fell for a 19-year-old who couldn't tell the truth from a lie. I'd never cared for himself because of a demanding, controlling mother, and who was also thrown into a marriage and parenthood way too early and unexpectedly. It took 18 years and a whole lot of pain and heartache and self-reflection and self-protection before I could get out of that bad marriage both of us had been thrown into because, whoops, we suddenly and unexpectedly were going to be parents. And marriage was what one did back then, didn't one? Now, getting out of the marriage was physically, emotionally, spiritually challenging, but I learned to take all that experience of the unexpectedness of a too early pregnancy and an unsuitable marriage and to turn it on its head so that I could become the person I am today. The mother of 2 grown-up boys, a mother who lost a baby by miscarriage, a mother who in essence grew up with her children, and a mother who came to rely on a whole lot of other people to learn how to mother those children because I never, ever could have done it on my own. And this experience, and others, but this brought me into ministry. Not just the desire to be a minister that had been with me for a long time, and untamed desire is what led me to a pregnancy at age 16 and a half, but a more reasoned and thoughtful desire led me to pursue ministry after I was better prepared and tested by life's unexpected challenges. And that ability to make the choice to pursue ministry came about by observing other ministers, both their strengths and struggles, by listening to and being a member of UU congregations and serving on the UUA Board of Trustees. These experiences gave me a glimpse into what church could be and the ways that ministers could serve appropriately and healthily. I also learned a lot serving on a search committee in my congregation when I was not listening to my inner voice that told me the candidate we were proposing was not the right one, but we pushed ahead anyways, and he turned out to be a disaster. He was controlling, patronizingly paternalistic, narcissistic, dismissive of lay leadership, and he used his gift of charisma to stoke his ego rather than enhance the gifts of the members. His mistakes have made me conscious of how being called to serve a congregation with others is not a solo act, but a cooperative venture where serving the vision and mission of the church and our larger Unitarian Universalist Association is the most crucial and vital activity a minister is called to. At South Church, serving with you to build a beloved community that is called to enhance the betterment of every being within the congregation and extending beyond these borders is the primary purpose for our being. I gained life skills while in other careers, social work and healthcare, and that I bring with me, and I can continue to fine-tune while engaged in ministry here. And some of these skills include administration, personnel management, system structure, family dynamics, spiritual development, the need for community and self-care, and most of all, for continuing to learn from my mistakes and the mistakes of others too. Which reminds me of a joke that Henny Youngman used to tell. At the first day of school, he says his mother went up to the teacher, looked her straight in the eye and said, "Look, if Henny makes a mistake, punish the kid next to him, because Henny learns best through others' experiences." Seriously though, that is one of the strengths that ministry at South Church can be. We can cooperatively learn, share stories, explore other ways of doing things by evaluating, adjusting, correcting mistakes as we uncover and correct past errors and discover a whole new way of being. I learned from unexpected and unreadiness for mothering that if I surround myself with others, if I try and try again, and remain open to my humanness, your humanness, we will provide an environment that is healthy, joy-filled, love-filled, spirit-filled, and we will come together to discover and build beloved community, and then we will bring that concept out into the world as we live. It takes all of us, our collective wisdom and experiences and mistakes. And we are not just about birthing, we are about parenting and partnering all beings, all creatures, all lives. South Church, your story is this: you are more wonderful than you give yourselves credit for. You are capable of so much, and you are ready to soar. And any minister who sees your gifts and challenges will be as glad to be with you as I am. May it be so. Blessed be.
of the heart for pilgrims new. Find the spirit always restless, find it in each mind and heart. Touch and hold that ancient yearning, kindling for a newfound truth. Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown. Hearth behind us, wayside hostel, built by those who knew wild roads. Guard we ere the sacred embers, carried in our minds and hearts.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
It is time to leave here now. And being with you this past year and few months has filled my heart with joy and given me more than enough challenges and issues to think about for at least another year plus. I commit to continue the journey we have embarked upon, a journey of birthing, a journey of strengthening one another through exploration, through experiencing, through discussing, and most of all, by being together to bring more light, love, peace, justice, and hope out into the world. We are on an amazing journey. Let us continue. Go in peace, love, hope. Amen.